How's it going, YouTube? Oxa here, and welcome back. Today, I will be reviewing the recent horror comedy, Renfield, that just came out. Of course, it's a different take on the story of the titular Renfield from the Dracula, the original Bram Stoker novel. It's a retelling, right, or like a different perspective because Renfield is a character in the original novel, who, just like in this movie, helps Dracula as like his servant. But this is a wildly different story. Again, Renfield is our main character, played by Nicolas Hoult, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of people didn't. I would say the movie has definitely gotten like mixed feelings about it, because I guess for some reason, well, the trailers always made it like, oh, it's gonna be a comedic thing, but people just had different expectations. But Nicolas Cage is as the Prince of Darkness himself, Dracula. He's perfect. That's one thing I love about Nick, is that he really he's an Academy Award winning actor, definitely so. He's amazing, but I love that he'll play these fun roles and really get into it. The best example I could give in like recent memory is like Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, Eggman in the Sonic movies, or Jack Black in the Mario movie, where like they really get into it when most actors would not get that, not really like put the effort in. So I appreciate that. Like that's why like there's some of like my favorites, honestly. But yeah, Nick is fantastic job. But let's give a little plot synopsis. So again, the movie is about we're following Renfield's perspective, who is Dracula's servant, a familiar, right, where he gets like powers by eating bugs, and he serves Dracula, has to bring in people to feed on, right, drink their blood. And it takes place, we get a backstory. He's in like a AA type group, but about people dealing with like depression or toxic relationships, like a support group. And he starts off with him kind of going over his backstory, how he met Dracula, and now they're in modern times, right? And it's just that essentially, like him going through the day to day, but I guess him finally overcoming that like toxic relationship and breaking free of it. And we do have some side characters. We have Awkwafina playing Officer Quincy. She's like a cop trying to take down a local gang, local crime. One of them being Ben Schwartz, who plays Teddy Lobo, who's like the son of a big crime boss, his mom. And yeah, the movie is comedic, which I think the trailers like kind of were like, hey, they let you know what it was. So because there are people out there who are complaining about like, oh, why is this a comedy? I expected something else. It's like, did we see the same trailer? Like it clearly, like the tone was, yeah, we knew it was gonna be violent. Like it's R-rated, so there's definitely a lot of blood and guts and that sort of thing. CGI though, like in the Blood's case, so yeah, like I guess that's a con. I always prefer practical, just gives it that better, like visual, but it's a lot of fun. But yeah, essentially, Renfield goes about his day to day, and of course, him and Officer Quincy's paths cross, and the story is about him helping her out and her helping him realize that he can be so much more, like to stand up for himself. That's really it. I mean, again, it's like they get tangled in with like Teddy Lobo and that gang, and then of course Dracula gets involved, and they have to defeat them. And yeah, it's a pretty standard plot. Like it's a pretty by the numbers, nothing stand out, but it's really the performances and like the comedy, right? It's like, hey, either you'll love it or hate it, like you'll find it funny or you won't. I did. I I was thoroughly entertained. Again, Nicolas Cage is like the standout of this movie. I mean, he's just so much fun. And like you can tell he really gets into the character. And there's like a scene in the apartment that Renfield eventually gets that's really well done. Like their bickering interactions. And yeah, and I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say, well, but I'll give the warning anyways, that, of course, Dracula is defeated at the end of the movie, as to be expected. The bad guys get arrested, pretty standard stuff. I guess it's left kind of open. There is no like end credit thing or anything like that. Like the story could very much end here, but the Renfield does mention that like Dracula can come back, or he always does. Like it'll take him a while, but he can. So I guess they leave it open, probably if the movie does well, for them to do a sequel. If not, hey. The action is a lot of fun. That's something I'll give praise to. Again, Nicholas Hoult really put his all into it. Seriously, both Nicks in this movie just did a fantastic job. Like, I do believe that's him jumping around. I mean, hey, maybe he had a stunt double, but seriously, it looked really good. The music, everything, it's a lot of fun. And I will say that the R rating does help it, because we just get more of that, like, ridiculous, like, being that he has those powers, he's like ripping limbs off, using them to beat people up. It's like a fun movie, and that's one thing. It's like, not everything has to be some Oscar chasing like drama, which is like that's the only type of movie that ever wins something. Not everything has to be this like artsy fartsy things. Like we can have fun, and that's what Renfield was. So if I had to give it a 1 through 10, honestly, personally, I'd give it like an 8. I think many of you would probably agree, maybe in the 7.5. Not a perfect movie by any means, but it's a lot of fun. If you like Nick Cage, if you're a fan of Nicolas Hoult, if you like just dumb, gory movies, this is something for you. Yeah, so let me know. Do you agree, disagree? I think you should check it out. Again, Nicolas Cage is always a treat. And he's no different here, always delivering. But yeah, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of content, I make new videos usually every Tuesday and Saturday. We should get back to schedule soon. I know I've been doing a lot on Wednesday, but as I've said, either Tuesday and Saturday is my normal. If not, every Wednesday, Sunday, and or. But yeah. That's my normal schedule, and please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.